It is today the first day of the Republican National Convention in Cleveland, Ohio. I am joined by Luke Vargas, the United Nations Bureau Chief for Talk Media News. He is joining us from, I'm not exactly sure where in Cleveland, but he is going to tell us. What's going on there, Luke?
Hey, David, that's kind of part of the story. This is a really small arena. I've covered 3 rounds of Democratic and Republican conventions now, and this is the smallest venue I've ever seen one of these national conventions held in. There's so little space for the media within the Quicken Loans arena that the vast majority of us are here in a parking garage across the street. If you were just to, I don't know, take a hammer to the wall or the ceiling, you'd see this is a cement parking structure. Every few minutes, there's a really loud rumble. All of these dividers between the booths shake. It's as if a plane is taking off. That's because there are shuttle buses down on the first floor of the parking structure that are taking people to and from. And so, I mean, this is really kind of an improvised media location. And that seems to be a theme that we're hearing all over the place at this convention, that this just doesn't really have the feeling of a national convention. I was at a Secret Service checkpoint the other night, and they weren't sure exactly what I was allowed to bring in. So one of the officers looked at a PDF on her phone that was sort of the rules of what people are allowed to have. 2 of my colleagues just got stuck for about an hour at a Secret Service checkpoint because the magnetometer, or magnetometer, I guess it's pronounced, which is the thing that sort of checks you to see if you have any metal on you, was not working for about an hour here, right as the convention is starting to get going. So there's this sort of sense that things really pulled together at the last moment here. And as we know, because the Cleveland Cavaliers were hogging this arena until just, I think, 4 weeks ago, this is the most hastily assembled convention in history.
And what's the deal as far as the mood in the city, security, risk of violence? We, of course, have had yet another shooting of police officers in Baton Rouge, and some friends who were there sent pictures of what seemed like a multi-tiered series of police barricades yesterday where a protest crowd had already assembled.
Yeah, there are protesters here. We've heard everything's been pretty civil so far. There was one arrest yesterday. I think it was described by the Cleveland police as a petty theft. Someone tried to steal a gas mask, I guess, from one of the policemen. Of course, a gas mask, something the civilians here can have that the police, I guess, can have. So maybe that's the impetus there. I mean, look, I think there is an uneasy feeling here. You know, in Charlotte in 2012, in Tampa in 2012, there was this feeling among attendees and as a member of the press that once you got into the perimeter or into the downtown of the city, that you were in this really safe area. And I did not feel that here in Cleveland. I mean, you drive through these checkpoints. I was in a car this morning, pretty early, albeit, but we're trying to figure out a way to get close to the arena, and there are all these barricades that say road closed, but there's nobody manning them. And my driver just sort of went through them. We cut across a parking lot, say, hey, to the attendant, could you move these barricades so we could get through here? He said, oh, sure. You're very welcome. I'm thinking, it's just, I don't know. And especially in light of the things we've seen in Baton Rouge and the open carry and concealed carry that are allowed here in Cleveland, I don't know. I'm a pretty cavalier reporter. I don't usually get spooked about security things, but I don't know. There are all these sort of security things in the city. Another thing, it's a city where, and I guess maybe it's hailed by public transit people, but there are these bus lanes everywhere. So if you're trying to get out of the city in a hurry, there's really only one lane you can use because the other one is a dedicated bus lane. And it took about an hour to get a few blocks, out of here last night. And I don't know, it's not the feeling of other conventions where it's this cocoon of safety. It's not clear really where the security begins, where it ends. And I really hope nothing goes wrong, but I don't know. I feel like if I'm, skirting barricades on the day of the convention, I hope we're not looking back on this and saying there indeed were some lapses in the preparations.
Yeah, if Luke Vargas is not feeling completely at ease, then I'm concerned. I'm not going to lie. Real quick, Luke, tonight the focus will be sort of make America safe again, which I assume means slam Hillary about Benghazi. What should people be sort of paying attention to?
Security failing. Yeah, it is a Benghazi heavy night, though the keynote speaker appears to be Melania Trump, so I'm not really sure how that ties in. Again,
she's a security mom from what I read on the internet.
Yes, each of these nights has a quick theme. It's Make America Safe. Again, Giuliani is one of the speakers today. Tomorrow's Make America Work. Make America First is on Wednesday, and Make America One again, as if Donald Trump is a uniting candidate. So again, that's the theme they're going with. We'll see how it all shapes out.
All right, Luke Vargas, United Nations Bureau Chief for Talk Media News. He's in Cleveland. He'll be checking in with us and following all the action. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you.